A very good morning. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. I'm Smriti Rastogi with breakfast news. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines of this morning. Election Commission reviews poll preparations for Himachal Pradesh. Prime Minister to hold rallies in the state today. Amit Shah to begin BJP's Gujarat campaign. Rahul Gandhi meets Dalit leader Jignesh Mewani. Supreme Court says banks can't send messages without specifying deadline on linking Aadhaar card and mobile number. Asks telecom service providers to indicate last date in messages to customers. Torrential rains pound Chennai and neighbouring areas in Tamil Nadu. Schools, colleges remain shut. 105 relief camps set up in the state capital. Chief Minister visits waterlogged areas. US President Donald Trump embarks on 5-nation Asia tour to visit Japan, South Korea, China, Vietnam and Philippines. Longest official trip by sitting US President since 1992. And Indian women's hockey team enters finals of Asia Hockey. Prakash Nanjappa bags gold at Commonwealth shooting event. India to play second T20 against New Zealand in Rajkot. The Election Commission reviewed the poll preparations ahead of the assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh on November 9th. The review was held via video conferencing. The Commission discussed issues like joint checking at borders, checking movement of liquor, cash, arms and criminals at checkposts, and sharing of intelligence between Himachal and border states, among others. The Commission directed Chief Secretaries of neighbouring states to declare paid holidays on 9th of November and 18th of December for electors of Himachal Pradesh. It also directed the Central Armed Police Forces be used for confidence-building measures. And now all the news of elections from Himachal Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to address a string of rallies in Himachal Pradesh today. He will address 2 rallies in Sundarnagar in Mandi, Rayat in Shahpur and Palampur in Kangra district. He will also address 2 rallies on Sunday in Kullu and Una. The Prime Minister addressed first 2 rallies in state on November 2nd. 348 candidates are in the fray for elections to the 68-member assembly. Elections are barely a week away in Himachal Pradesh amid hectic campaigning by political parties led by the BJP and the Congress. People in 68 assembly constituencies gear up to cast their ballots on 9th of November.
People in 68 assembly constituencies in Himachal Pradesh will cast their ballots on the 9th of November to decide their next state government. The Congress is asking for votes in the name of development work that it has achieved in the last 5 years.
केंद्र की सरकार है जो हिमाचल प्रदेश के लोगों को जो उनका वाजिब हक और अधिकार थे, जो मदद सहायता मिलनी चाहिए थी, केंद्र सरकार ने वो दी नहीं। चुनाव के समय आकर यहाँ वादों की छड़ी लगा रहे हैं, अलग अलग लोगों को लुभाने के लिए जुमले दिए जा रहे हैं। हमारी सरकार ने जो काम किया 5 साल में टूरिज्म के क्षेत्र में, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट के क्षेत्र में, रोजगार देने के क्षेत्र में, स्कूल कॉलेजेस खोलने के क्षेत्र में, उस काम के आधार पर मुझे लगता है कि जनता पुनः कांग्रेस को एक और मौका देगी।
The BJP has 29 seats in the present assembly. Its campaigns are focusing on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's model of development and anti-incumbency against the ruling Congress and Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh. The party claims the Congress government in the state has not fulfilled its election promises.
हिमाचल प्रदेश में पिछले 5 सालों में जो वीरभद्र की सरकार रही, उन्हीं मुद्दों को लेकर के हिमाचल प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री हम सबको जानकारी है कि आय से अधिक मामले में जमानत पर हैं, उनकी पत्नी जमानत पर है। तो इस प्रकार की स्थिति में हिमाचल प्रदेश में विकास अवरुद्ध हुआ है।
While a few political observers give credit to Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh for some developmental work, they are skeptical about the integrity of the governance. They also feel the Prime Minister's charisma will play a big role in the election.
वीरभद्र सिंह के जो विकास के कार्य हैं, अगर उन्हें वो मतदाताओं को लुभा सकें तो हो सकता है वीरभद्र सिंह दोबारा 7वीं बार मुख्यमंत्री बन जाए। इसलिए उन्होंने एक दाव खेला है धूमल जी के ऊपर कि मोदी जी का एक चेहरा होगा और धूमल जी हमारे मुख्यमंत्री में होंगे। इसलिए मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि भाजपा ने जब धूमल को मुख्यमंत्री का अपना उम्मीदवार बनाया है।
Himachal Pradesh has traditionally seen a change of guard every 5 years, with governments led by Veerbhadra Singh of the Congress and BJP's Prem Kumar Dhumal alternating every election. All eyes are on whether the trend will be repeated this time as well.
The fight between BJP and Congress is virtually a fight between Veerbhadra Singh of Congress and Prem Kumar Dhumal of BJP. There is neck-to-neck fight and situations might be like Manipur or Goa. It will be interesting to see that how far anti-incumbency against Veerbhadra Singh is working in the favor of BJP. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person DK Pandey and Sudhanshu in Simla.
Meanwhile, the BJP unit in Himachal Pradesh has said that it will form the government in the state with 3/4 majority. Here is an exclusive interview with Himachal election BJP in charge Thawarchand Gehlot.
क्या लग रहा है आपको? अभी बस 6-7 दिन बच गए हैं चुनाव के।
हिमाचल प्रदेश वासी इस बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हिमाचल में 3/4 बहुमत से सरकार में लाना चाह रहे हैं।
तो जिस तरीके से वीरभद्र सिंह 5 साल सरकार चलाए हैं, कांग्रेस का दावा है कि उन्होंने बहुत विकास के काम किए हैं। ऐसे में किस आधार पे आपको लोग वोट देंगे?
5 साल में वीरभद्र सिंह जी ने जो 2012 में घोषणा पत्र जारी किया था, उस घोषणा पत्र में से 108-9 बिंदुओं पर सोचा ही नहीं, कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की, और कुछ बिंदुओं पर कार्रवाई की तो वो भी बेईमानी, भ्रष्टाचार की भेंट चढ़ गई।
जीएसटी और डिमोनेटाइजेशन का, उसका कैसे आप लोगों को बता रहे हैं कि कैसे इनके फायदे में हुआ?
देखो, नोटबंदी के कारण बेईमानी, भ्रष्टाचार में जो लिप्त लोग थे उनको कुछ कठिनाई महसूस हुई है, बाकी आम लोगों को अच्छा महसूस हो रहा है और इसके कारण नरेंद्र मोदी जी के प्रति लोगों का विश्वास बढ़ा है। जहां तक जीएसटी का सवाल है, कांग्रेस वालों ने भ्रम पैदा करने की कोशिश की। ये जीएसटी काउंसिल द्वारा निर्णय हुआ है और जीएसटी काउंसिल में सभी राज्यों के मुख्यमंत्री, वित्त मंत्री और सभी राज्यों का प्रतिनिधित्व है। हिमाचल प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री और वित्त मंत्री जीएसटी काउंसिल के सदस्य थे, वो वहां उसमें सम्मिलित हुए और जो निर्णय हुआ उसमें उनकी भी राय हुई।
केंद्रीय मंत्री थावरचंद गहलोत जो यहाँ के चुनाव प्रभारी भी हैं, उनका कहना है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की लहर है और अगर जीएसटी का भी मामला है तो उसका ठीकरा वे वीरभद्र सिंह पर ही फोड़ रहे हैं। राज्यसभा टेलीविजन के लिए कैमरा पर्सन डीके पांडे के साथ अखिलेश सुमन, शिमला से।
And now all the election news from Gujarat. BJP President Amit Shah will today launch the party's poll campaign in Gujarat. Shah's visit to the state comes after Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi's 3-day visit. Shah will be on a 2-day visit to Gujarat. On the first day, he is scheduled to visit Gandhi Dham in Kutch, Morbi and Sundar Nagar, which will be followed by a visit to Bhavnagar, Botad, Amreli and Ahmedabad. On Sunday, the BJP president will visit Valsad, Navsari and Dang, followed by Panchmahal, Dahod, Sabarkantha and Aravali districts. He will be in Gujarat again for a 3-day visit from November 7th. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, who is on a 3-day tour to South Gujarat on Friday, addressed a Navsarjan Yatra in Gujarat's Vapi. Rahul also addressed a public rally in Pardi.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi on Friday termed the Gujarat election as a battle between truth and lies. He accused the centre and the BJP of failing to deliver on its promises. Addressing a public meeting at Pardi in Valsad district, Rahul alleged that except a few businessmen, no one is happy in Gujarat.
हर समाज आंदोलन चल रहा है। गुजरात में कोई खुश नहीं। कांग्रेस पार्टी जीतेगी क्योंकि सच्चाई हमारे पास है। आप जितना भी दम लगा लो, आपके पास सच्चाई नहीं है। सच्चाई गुजरात की जनता के दिल में है। सच्चाई कांग्रेस पार्टी आज गुजरात में बोल रही है।
Raising the issue of unemployment, Rahul Gandhi held the ruling government responsible for not creating enough jobs in the state. On the last day of his visit, Rahul Gandhi also met farmers, fishermen and traders.
चाइना दिन में 24 घंटे में 50,000 युवाओं को रोजगार देता है। आज हिंदुस्तान की सरकार 24 घंटे में पूरे हिंदुस्तान में सिर्फ 450 युवाओं को रोजगार देती है।
Responding to Rahul Gandhi, the BJP accused the Congress of spreading lies.
एक प्रकार से वो इस तरह का कंफ्यूजन पैदा करके अपनी राजनीतिक एजेंडे को आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सच पूछिए तो ये सारा का सारा विषय उन्हीं के द्वारा बनाया गया है। कांग्रेस का कोई इस विषय को लेकर के स्टैंड है ही नहीं।
Rahul Gandhi is on a 3-day visit to South Gujarat as part of the Navsarjan Yatra of the Congress. His campaign speeches have mainly focused on targeting the decisions and policies of the union government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
The Congress Vice President also met Dalit leader Jignesh Mewani on Friday. While the Congress is looking to take young leaders on board ahead of the polls, Mewani stopped short of pledging his support to the party. Mewani, who is the Rashtriya Dalit Adhikar Manch's leader, claimed that Rahul Gandhi has assured him that more than 90% of his demands will be included in the Congress manifesto. Mewani, who shot up prominence after Dalit flogging incident in Una, said that he will ask his followers to not vote for the BJP. And now the news from the Supreme Court. The Apex Court has directed the mobile service providers and banks to specify the last dates for Aadhaar linkage in SMSs and emails they sent to the subscribers. The Apex Court ordered that mobile service providers and banks should specify that February 6, 2018 and December 31, 2017 are the last dates respectively for Aadhaar linking. The very validity of Aadhaar is scheduled to be heard from the last week of November. The court also issued a notice to the government saying that the petitioners are at liberty to press their case for an extension of the deadline in case the final hearing does not take place during November end. And the Supreme Court has said that all individual cases against demonetization will be heard by the Constitution Bench. It will review the validity and related aspects of the decision. A 3-judge bench of the top court asked the petitioners to file 2 to 3 page long interlocutory applications in the pending petitions that will be dealt with by the Constitution Bench later. It also disposed of individual petitions filed by 14 people seeking permission to deposit currency notes on the ground that they couldn't deposit their notes with banks due to some compelling reasons. Appearing for the government, Attorney General K.K. Venugopal assured the court that no criminal action will be taken against the petitioners for possession of demonetized currency. He, however, added that protection against criminal action will only extend to the demonetized money that they had specifically mentioned in their petitions before the Supreme Court. The petitioners can't claim protection for other amounts. The Supreme Court has restrained all the deemed universities from continuing any distance learning courses from 2018 to 19 without prior approval of regulatory authorities. It also ordered a CBI probe into granting of retrospective approvals to 4 of them. The court also directed the University Grants Commission to restrain such institutions from using the word university within 1 month. As per the court's order, degrees of students who pursued engineering in 2001 and 5 from JRN Rajasthan Vidyapeeth Institute of Advanced Studies in Education, Rajasthan, Allahabad Agricultural University and Vinayak Mission's Research Foundation in Tamil Nadu will remain suspended. And with that, time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
There is generally no drugs available against viral infections. There are very few drugs. We work on Japanese encephalitis virus and we are trying to figure out how the initiation of the duplication of the genome happens. We also had a little bit of interest on how antibiotics work.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Deepak T. Nair, Associate Professor at Regional Center for Biotechnology at Faridabad, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated an international mega food event, World Food India 2017, in the national capital on Friday. The Prime Minister invited investment proposals from global companies, highlighting the World Bank's ease of doing business rankings, in which India has surged 30 places. He also reiterated the centre's aim to double farmers' income within 5 years.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 3-day World Food India Congress 2017, the biggest congregation of global investors and business leaders of major food companies. Prime Minister Modi urged the private sector to invest more in contract farming, raw material sourcing and agri-linkages. He stressed that there are huge opportunities in India for global supermarket chains, considering the country is a major outsourcing hub.
There are opportunities in post-harvest management like primary processing, storage preservation, infrastructure, cold chain and refrigerated transportation.
The Prime Minister highlighted the attractive food processing policies unveiled by several states to attract investment. He also exhorted each state to identify at least one food product for specialization.
Each district can also select some food items for production and one item for specialization.
India is expected to attract an investment of $10 billion in the food processing sector, generating 1 million jobs over the next 3 years. India is the second largest producer of food, leader in milk, fruits and vegetables, cereals and marine products. Proximity to food importing nations also works in India's favor.
We have to create demand for a lot of new products and new categories. We have to get into food processing. We have every climatic condition in the country. We can produce so much what we import.
It's very good from the potential point of view. Obviously, the ease of doing business can still improve a heck of a lot.
The 3-day event will see 2,000 participants and 200 companies from around 30 countries. 18 ministerial and business delegations and nearby 50 global CEOs are also participating.
The government aims to transform food economy and realize the vision of doubling farmers' income by establishing India as a preferred investment destination and a sourcing hub for global food processing industry. Reporting from Delhi with camera person Kawaljit, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And the highlight at the event today will be the traditional dish khichdi. Renowned chef Sanjeev Kapoor will oversee the preparations of 800 kilograms of the dish in a bid to create a world record. The attempt is to popularize brand India food globally. Moving on, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday inaugurated the International Environment Conference in New Delhi. Inaugurating the 2-day conference, Naidu called for speedier measures to protect the environment. Environment Minister Harshvardhan and Chief Justice Deepak Mishra were also present on the occasion.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu called for speedier measures to protect the environment. Inaugurating a 2-day International Environment Conference in New Delhi, he said that along with development, it's also important to care about human lives.
GDP is important, but at the same time, as I told you, it's even more important to improve human lives. Quality of life is the ultimate test of all our developmental efforts. Development has very little meaning if it does not lead to a healthy happiness and harmony.
The Vice President said that incessant exploitation of natural resources has led to many adverse changes in the environment. He said it's everyone's duty to conserve natural resources for the next generation. In this context, he also emphasized the need to promote smart cities and public transport.
We had the new concept of smart cities. What is smart city? We discussed, we went through dictionaries, international level also consultation and all. Finally, I came to the conclusion, smart city means city where people can live happily. Happily. Happiness includes wellness. Otherwise, simply getting an extension with a tension.
Union Environment Minister Dr. Harshvardhan, who also addressed the conference, said India is to play an important role in the protection of environment. Chief Justice Deepak Mishra said that the coming generations have a right to live in a safe environment.
Being one of the most biodiverse nations of the world, India has been in the forefront in leading and joining all the initiatives and endeavors aimed at ensuring environmental sustainability. Environment is a complex issue and requires an ensemble of experts to handle it.
We treated everything that existed on the Mother Earth as divine. If we go through our ancient scriptures, texts, myths, stories, they used to refer to a tree as Vriksha Devta. The tree is a god.
Other speakers included Attorney General K.K. Venugopal, who called for more battery-operated modes of transport, while NGT Chief Swatantra Kumar highlighted the role of solid waste management system in South Asia. Justice of Brazil High Court Antonio Benjamin praised India's efforts towards environment conservation. Mohammad Fateh Tipu's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday met his Latvian counterpart Maris Kusinskis for bilateral talks. According to the MEA, both the leaders held wide-ranging talks on issues including cooperation in higher education, IT, food processing, fisheries and allied sectors. Modi also met Armenian President Sergei Sargsyan and discussed ways to boost bilateral ties. Latvian Prime Minister also called on President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday. The Vice President also called on the Armenian President. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu met Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday. It was a courtesy call by the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. The two leaders discussed several issues related to the state of Andhra Pradesh. On to some more news. Torrential rains lashed Chennai and adjoining areas, spreading fears of a repeat of the 2015 floods. Chief Minister E. Palaniswamy took stock of the situation in waterlogged areas. 105 relief camps have been set up in Chennai as the meteorological department forecast more rain in the next 48 hours.
History repeating itself as Chennai received its heaviest spell of rain since the 2015 floods on Thursday. Torrential downpour threw normal life out of gear in several parts of the metropolis and neighbouring districts, even as the death toll mounted to 8 in the state. A government release said that 105 relief camps have been set up in Chennai. Chief Minister E. Palaniswamy took stock of the situation in the affected areas. He was accompanied by O. Selvam and senior officials.
Government has to take some step to proceed. No one has come and seen this place, and because the river is it is nearby, so there is no fence and no protection here. So every year we are struggling through this issue. So government has to immediately take some action.
For last 3 days, actually, it's knee-deep water. We are actually staying in knee-deep water, and for actually food and other items, we have to come out and it's 3 or 4 streets we have to cross and to the main road, and actually have to buy. Not at all done anything actually previous they're not actually learned anything from the previous history, and they're not done anything in this year.
There was severe waterlogging after rains lashed the city for close to 6 hours following a low pressure over the Bay of Bengal. Power cuts were reported in many parts of the city. Incessant rain inundated hundreds of houses and submerged paddy crops. People have been evacuated and shifted to safer areas or to relief camps.
எல்லாமே low lying areas ங்க. சில இடம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா வெளச்சேரி sea level-ஓட குறைவு. மீன் sea level சொல்லுவாங்கல, கடலை விட கீழ இருக்கு. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நிமிஷம். இந்த மாதிரி ஏரியால வந்து பிளான் வந்து திடீர்னு போட்டு அந்த ஏரியாக்கு மட்டும் பிளான் பண்ண முடியாது. சோ நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னா ஜிஎஸ்டி ரோடுக்கு அந்த பக்கம் உள்ள தண்ணி எல்லாம் அடையாருக்கு போயிருக்கு. ஜிஎஸ்டி ரோடுக்கு இந்த பக்கம் உள்ள தண்ணி எல்லாம் நம்ம பக்கிங்கால் கனால் வந்து பே ஆஃப் பெங்கால் போணும். சோ எல்லா கிராமத்தையும் சேர்த்து ஒன்றிணைத்து ஒரு ப்ரொபோசல் தான் போட முடியும் தவிர கோவிலம்பாக்கம் தனியா வெளச்சேரி தனியா போட முடியாது.
Schools and colleges in Chennai and other parts of coastal Tamil Nadu will remain closed till 7th of November. Several IT companies have provided work from home option to their employees. The Met Department has warned of heavy rain for another 48 hours, but said there was no need to panic.
Today also we expect the activity to continue. In addition to that, even thunderstorm activity is also expected. So with respect to that, we have given warning pertaining to heavy rainfall activity as well as for thunderstorm activity.
More than 10,000 fishermen have also been affected after they could not venture into the sea. Salt production in Vedaranyam area has also come to a halt. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And shifting our focus onto the international front, US President Donald Trump embarked on a 5-nation Asia visit with a stop in Hawaii. Trump arrived at Joint Base Hickam in Hawaii on Friday afternoon, stopping for a briefing on US military forces in the Pacific and a visit to Pearl Harbor. Today, Trump will have a meeting with governors from the 5 US states here to discuss concerns about North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. After his stop in Hawaii, Trump will visit Japan and South Korea in search of a united front against North Korea before going to Beijing, where he will push Chinese President Xi Jinping to get tougher with Pyongyang. His Asia visit that concludes on 14th of November also includes the Philippines. The US President said that he will extend his trip in the Philippines by another day to attend the East Asia Summit, a key meeting between ASEAN and 8 of its partners. This is the longest official trip by a sitting US President since 1992. Spain has issued arrest warrant for ex-Catalan President Carles Puigdemont. On Friday, a Spanish judge issued warrants for Puigdemont and 4 of his allies who went to Belgium. The 5 failed to attend a court hearing in Madrid on Thursday when the ex-members of the regional government were taken into custody. They all face charges of rebellion, sedition and misuse of public funds for pursuing Catalan independence. Puigdemont has said that he will not return to Spain unless he receives guarantees of his fair trial. Puigdemont's party has called for pro-independence parties to file one candidate in 21st December elections in Catalonia, called by the Spanish government. And now sports news. Indian women's hockey team has qualified for the finals in the ongoing Asia Cup hockey tournament in Japan. The Indian team defeated the hosts 4-2 in the semi-finals. For India, Gurjeet Kaur, Navjot Kaur and Lal Rishmi ensured the team's entry into the finals of the tournament. India will next face China on Sunday. The second T20 international match between India and New Zealand will take place today at Rajkot. The hosts are already 1-up in 3-match series by winning their opening match in Delhi by 53 runs. India had clinched back-to-back wins in the last 2 games of the ODI match for a 2-1 verdict in their favour. The match is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. And India has bagged yet another gold medal at the Commonwealth Shooting Championships in Brisbane, taking its total tally to 5. Ace Indian shooters Prakash Nanjappa, Amanpreet Singh and Jeetu Rai made a clean sweep in the 50-meter pistol event. Prakash won the coveted gold medal, Amanpreet the silver and Jeetu settled for bronze medals. While in women's 25-meter pistol final, Anurag Singh won the bronze. Ace Indian boxer Sonia Lathar and Neeraj have advanced to the quarterfinals of the ongoing Asian Women's Boxing Championship in Vietnam. Former silver medalist Lathar defeated Japan's Kurogi Kana in 57 kilograms category. Lathar will now face China's Yin Zhuhua today, while debutant Neeraj beat Myanmar's Nali Nali in 51 kilograms category. Neeraj will also play against Korea's Pang Shol-mi. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Breakfast News. But before we go, we leave you with the visuals of the biggest festival of Sikhs, Guru Nanak Jayanti, also known as Guru Purab, is being observed today. The day is celebrated to mark the birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the first of the 10 Sikh Gurus. Devotees around the world are offering prayers to mark the day. We leave you with these celebrations.